Resolution. Video camera resolution is a little bit more complicated than a DSLR. You are more likely to use 1080p cameras for movies and 720p for sports channels because there is more likely to be a motion blur. DSLR cameras have automatic mode. This is fine most of the time, but when trying to create professional images in film, you want to take into consideration that the 5 most important camera functions, the ISO camera setting still has the same function as older film cameras. ISO determines how sensitive the image sensor is to light. To change the ISO setting on your digital SLR camera, press the ISO button, then use the up, down, left, right buttons to change the speed. Setting the correct white balance in your digital SLR camera is important to ensure that objects that are white and are actually displayed white within the shot. White balance also affects other colors as well if your camera's automatic white balance setting doesn't get the color white correct. It won't render the other colors. Cost. A DSLR costs a few £100s and are usually just as good as a DSLR camera, which costs over £1,000. Sometimes the cheaper the camera, the better the quality of the camera. Just because the camera is more expensive doesn't mean it's better than one which is cheaper. You can get a really good quality DSLR camera within a price range of £200 to £500 if you're after a large video camera for the price range of normally over £500 for a good one. However, if you are after a small video recorder, the price can range from £20 up to £600. Handling and stabilizing. Both cameras can be awkward to hold steadily and to use smoothly for video shots. To use these kind of cameras, you may need to require the use of a tripod, a monopod, or a special rig. Audio. A DSLR camera isn't really great for audio. It's mainly used for taking pictures. However, it does have the ability to record audio when filming. In comparison to a video camera, a DSLR isn't very good for recording audio. A video camera can record audio. Sometimes the audio isn't very clear, depending on the quality of the camera. However, it is better than the audio of a DSLR. Sensor size. DSLRs are much larger sensors have much larger sensors than camcorders, at least at the same price point. You can get camcorders with larger sensors, but these are the high-end models that will cost a few £1,000s. There are two big advantages of shooting with a large sensor: depth of field and lower light. Depth of field is how much the image is in focus. Blurred background is much easier to do with a DSLR because of the larger sensor. A larger sensor collects more light than a smaller one. With the larger sensor of a DSLR, it's easy to get the lower light images without needing a video light. Cameras with larger sensors tend to produce less noise, and when shooting at a higher ISO, higher ISOs needed when light is limited as well. Camera efficiency. DSLR cameras are pretty efficient because most of them can fit in your bag, over the shoulder bag, backpack, etc. However, some larger DSLRs might be a bit too big and a bit of a hassle to carry around. Video cameras. Video cameras, depending on their size, can be efficient, especially if you have a small video camera. It won't take up much room. If you put it in your bag, they have a built-in mic, therefore you don't have to carry a plug-in mic around. However, if you have a big video camera, it's not very efficient because it won't fit in your bag. You might be carrying around with it, which would lead you to have to carry the camera around in a separate bag of its own, which could be quite heavy.